What would you do if you were denied food, shelter, and basic rights simply because of where you were born? Imagine waking up in a foreign land, tired, hungry, and homeless, only to be told, "You don't belong here." Is it fair to deny people food, shelter, and a chance to survive just because they crossed an invisible line? Today, we're diving into one of the most controversial debates of our time. Should illegal immigrants be denied food and basic needs? Let's break this down. Across the world, many countries are tightening their borders, enforcing stricter immigration policies. In some places, people who arrive without the proper documents are not only turned away, but are also denied access to life's basic necessities. The question now being raised is, should we allow illegal immigrants to access public services like food and shelter, or should these resources be reserved for citizens and legal residents? This isn't just a legal question, it's an ethical one. It's about who gets to decide who deserves to eat, who deserves shelter, and who is worthy of basic human dignity. The two sides of the argument. On one side, we have those who argue that illegal immigrants should be denied these services. They argue that resources are finite, and allowing immigrants to access welfare programs could strain national budgets. Taxpayers, they say, should not have to bear the financial burden of helping people who entered the country unlawfully. For them, the argument is clear. If you don't follow the rules, you shouldn't benefit from the system. This view is grounded in the idea of preserving the integrity of a nation's borders and ensuring that legal processes are followed. But on the other hand, there are those who believe that denying immigrants basic needs violates fundamental human rights. They argue that survival should not be contingent on papers or legal status. These individuals often come from countries torn apart by war, poverty, or violence, and many are seeking nothing more than the chance to live. Does anyone deserve to go hungry or homeless because of their immigration status? They ask. For them, the focus is on compassion and humanity, on helping those in desperate need, regardless of where they were born or how they arrived. Let's take a look at some real-life examples. In some cities around the world, communities have stepped up to offer food, shelter, and medical care to undocumented immigrants. These programs have proven to be effective, not just in providing aid, but in boosting local economies as well. Studies show that immigrants often contribute to the workforce in ways that benefit everyone, creating jobs and fueling economic growth. But there are also places where denying aid to illegal immigrants has resulted in a humanitarian crisis. In countries like the US and parts of Europe, where restrictive immigration policies have been implemented, we've seen families stuck in refugee camps, living in squalor without access to basic services like food, water, or medical care. These cases raise an important question. When does enforcing the law cross the line into cruelty? Now let's get personal. Imagine Maria, a young mother from Honduras who fled with her 2 children to escape gang violence. They traveled through treacherous terrain, hoping for a better life. But when they arrived at the border, they were turned away. No food, no shelter, no help. Maria's story is not unique. Thousands of immigrants around the world face the same grim reality. They flee violence, poverty, and persecution, only to find themselves abandoned and starving because they lack the proper paperwork. The human cost of these policies is not just measured in dollars, it's measured in lives. In families torn apart by the cruel reality of survival in a foreign land. The legal angle. But what about the law? International human rights frameworks, such as the UN Refugee Convention, affirm the right of refugees and migrants to seek asylum and receive basic assistance, including food and shelter. These laws were created to ensure that all people, no matter their status, are treated with dignity and respect. On the other hand, many nations have their own laws that impose strict limitations on who can access public services. These laws often create a tension between international human rights obligations and national sovereignty. So, which should take precedence? The protection of human rights or the protection of national borders? Here's the question we all need to ask ourselves. What is our duty as a society? To protect our borders at all costs or to protect human life? When it comes to the most basic needs, food, water, shelter, how can we justify denying those who need it most? It's easy to say that we need to follow the law, but at what point do we stop and ask, is this really the world we want to create? Is it ethical to leave a child hungry because their parents made a desperate choice to escape danger? Is it right to turn away a mother and her children just because they crossed the border without permission? The truth is, the decision to deny or provide food and basic services to illegal immigrants isn't just about politics. It's about who we are as human beings. It's about our values, our empathy, and our humanity. So, what do you think? Should we deny food and basic needs to illegal immigrants? Or should we provide these services based on humanity, not paperwork? This debate is far from over, and it's a conversation that needs to happen. I want to hear your thoughts. Should immigration status determine whether or not someone deserves to eat? Share your opinion in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more discussions on this important topic. In the end, we must ask ourselves, what kind of world do we want to live in?